Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team 7. My name is Leo. With me here today is Viet, Mike, Jay, and BJ. And this afternoon, we're going to be talking to you about a very important topic. The very reason why you are sitting in your seat right now. We're going to be talking to you about money. Smells good. Now, we're not here to talk to you about how to get rich quick or anything like that. We're going to talk to you about what to do with the money you're going to earn as a professional, both in the short term and in the long term. Now, I think it's safe to say that everybody in here wants to have a nice nest egg when they get older and retire at a young age, right? Well, luckily for me, I just received an email from a Nigerian prince who's going to give me $1 million as a dying wish. And I'm feeling very generous, so I'm going to share it with the class. So I'm going to pass this piece of paper around. If you just write your bank account numbers and your social security numbers, I will share with you guys, all right? All right, hopefully you wouldn't fall for something like that. On today's agenda, we're going to discuss building credit, we're going to discuss student loans, we're going to discuss insurance, both personal and commercial, and we're going to discuss retirement planning. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Viet, who's going to talk to you about building credit.
All right. Thank you, Leo. Yes, once again, my name is Viet, and today I'll be talking about your credit worthiness and the components of a credit score. So real quick, how many here currently are using a credit card? Everyone, or is anyone leasing a vehicle? Well, how about a house? Okay. All right, thank you. So we're all building credit in different ways, but some of us may not know that our credit score is actually more important than your GPA. And here are some reasons why. For instance, your credit score can determine the future cost of your purchases. So for example, when I was buying my vehicle, I was not able to get a loan approved for a low interest rate. My credit score was actually not high enough for me to even negotiate the price of the vehicle. However, I was able to co-sign with my mom, and with that, I was able to negotiate the price down by $5,000, and I was able to receive an interest rate of 0.9%. So this is actually some of the advantages of having a good credit score. Now, going back to GPA, you can have one bad semester and your GPA will tank completely, but next semester you can rapidly improve your GPA by, acing all your classes. But with credit score, that's not how it works. It can take years for it to improve. Now, with your GPA, it's really important for you to have a good GPA so you can apply for the job that you want. But with a credit score, it can remain with you for the rest of your life. With that being said, it brings me to my next point. When you're looking for a place to live in the future, your lender or your landlord will want to look at your credit score to determine if they want to actually do business with you or not. And last but not least, according to a recent survey by Nerdy Wallet, more than half of young adults that are over the age of 25 are not actually willing to date someone that has a bad credit score. So later on today, when you get home, make sure you ask your significant other, what's their credit score. So moving forward, the components of a credit score. So your credit score actually range from 300 to 850. And 35% of that comes from the payment history. So our advice is make sure you make your payments on time, or you can set up an automatic payment, and that will take care of that. Next, 30% accounts for the amounts that you actually owe. So a little advice from us is make sure you don't spend more than 10 to 15% of your credit line. So for instance, if your credit line is $1,000, try not to spend more than $150 each month. Okay, next. So the how long you had your credit history actually affects 15% of your credit score. The different type of accounts that you have and how often you use those accounts factors in about 10%. And lastly, the new credit card accounts that you make within a short amount of time affects 10%. So with that being said, I will pass it on to Mike, who will talk about how you can effectively pay off your student loans.
Thank you, Viet, for covering the importance of building your credit. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If I may ask, how many of you have a confident plan to successfully pay off your student loans quickly? Well, thank you. The reason this is important is because 69% of us are utilizing student loans to help for our tuition right now. With that, once we graduate, we accumulate close to $30,000 as an average in student debt. And if you change your major as well as gone to graduate school, you're up to 19% to accumulate close to $50,000 in student debt. Luckily for you guys, I'm here to help you out and helpful tips to reduce that debt quickly. The first one would be pay more than a minimum payment. Reason being is because every dollar that you put in to that payment, it goes towards the principal and not affected by the interest rate. Next would be to consolidate and refinance your student loan. Reason being is that you can combine all your loans into one loan and just make one payment per month. So with Viet saying that credit builds helps with your interest rate, with that you can get a lower interest rate once you consolidate your loans. Another one was using a cash windfall. What that means is basically once you get a lump sum of money like a lottery winning or a promotion at your job, use that towards your student loan to help pay that off much quicker. Last but not least is take a job that offers student loan forgiveness. With that, being a teacher, if you teach for 5 years consecutively and full time, they can offer student loan forgiveness for $17,500 of your student loan. Another option would be the military, like what I chose. So they give you two options as enlisting, and then afterwards you get free schooling. Or they do 100% student loan forgiveness, no matter what the amount is. So I'm going to give it to Jay to cover the importance of insurance. All right, thanks, Mike. So I'm going to be talking about personal insurance today. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about three particular: home, auto, and life. So first off, let's talk about home insurance. Now, I'm going to be talking about why it's going to be important to invest in insurance. Home insurance is going to be super important to invest in, primarily because this is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, asset that you have to your name. So you're definitely going to want to have that protected. Also, in most cases, if you have a mortgage, you're going to be required to have it. The standard home insurance packages cover against structural damage, property damage. It covers personal liability to a certain extent, and also it covers against natural disasters. So, actually, a fun fact that a lot of people fail to recognize is, even though it covers against natural disasters, it doesn't cover against floods and earthquakes, even though they're so widespread. So that's just something to keep in mind. Personal example of me of how home insurance kind of saved my family was I'm from Houston, and several years back we got hit by Hurricane Katrina, and my house suffered damages. And if we didn't have home insurance, I don't know what kind of situation my family would be in now, but luckily we did, and so that was just one less thing for us to worry about. Next, I want to talk about car insurance. I don't know how many of you guys drive. I know you ride bike to school, but for those of you guys who drive, you guys should all know car insurance is a must. It's required by the law, so that's probably the biggest reason why you should have it. But also, if you ever get into an accident and you're at fault, you're going to be required to have that. If you ever get into an accident and the other party's at fault and they don't have their own insurance, you're going to want this to cover for you as well. And also natural disasters as well. So I don't know if you guys were in the DFW area last year, but we got hit by a series of hailstorms. My car got dinged up. I see people nodding, so everybody knows, but some of my friends actually had their cars totaled by the hail. And I know we were all glad that we had car insurance that day, because that was kind of a mess. And last, I want to talk about life insurance. This is something that nobody ever wants to ever have to think about, but it's going to be a good rescue if the situation calls for it. There are two different types of life insurance. There's term life and there's whole life. Term life is where you're covered for a long period of time, and whole life is where you're covered for your whole life. And so, some things that life insurance can help with is it can provide your family with financial stability, emotional stability, and also give your family that peaceful state of mind as they have to deal with everything that's going on. So with that, I am going to pass off to Liam to talk about the commercial side of things.
Thank you very much. Now, I hope there are some future business owners in the audience here today. But even if you're not a business owner, you're going to learn to know a term called general liability. Luckily for us, there are many insurance policies that can help us address when certain things happen in life, especially in the business world. So we have a commercial general liability policy. So whenever you have a business or a premise, anything that can occur on that property, you can get sued for. And if you create a project or a product, you can get sued for any damage that might cause. So this is where we have people that slip and fall at Walmart. You have a commercial general liability policy with limits of $1 to $3 million. And not only do they pay for whatever lawsuit damages you have to pay, but more importantly, they pay for defense. So that means lawyers. And some of these cases can take years, and if you ever have to hire a lawyer, you know the expenses. Next, we have a workers' compensation policy. Now, this pays for when a worker might get injured on the job and during business operations. Now, I'm quoting these words because these are legal terms that a jury decides on in the courtroom. And of course, they'll pay for when somebody breaks their arm or something like that. But worst case scenario, if somebody happens to die while on your job, the lawyers get involved. And we're talking about millions of dollars here because the family is going to seek to recoup the income that they would have gained from the time of their death all the way to retirement age. So this is a type of insurance that you need. You also need commercial auto policies. So if you think of some of these businesses that have delivery services, so think of all the UPS trucks on the road, all the people that deliver food. Every instance that they are on the road is a chance for somebody to get hurt, for somebody to cause bodily injury or damage property. So this is why you need a commercial auto policy. And last but not least is commercial property. So of course, the insurance company will pay if a fire or a tornado takes out your building. But there are certain endorsements that are really cool and provide great coverage. For example, one is called business income. So if I have a store and a tornado comes through, takes it out, I have nothing, right? The insurance company will replace the property. But with the business income endorsement, it will replace the income that I would have generated while my building is down. So if it takes 3 months to rebuild that building, the business income endorsement will pay for 3 months of my income. So these are some of the reasons why you might want to consider some of these insurance policies. None of this is required, but except workers' comp, but you need and you want to have this type of coverage. Of course, these coverages are not free and they require quite a heavy premium. So it's something to keep in mind whenever you're running a business or running operations. Next, I'm going to pass it to DJ, who's going to talk to you about retirement.
Thank you, Leo. Unfortunately, several people our age plan on retiring very late. Most people our age usually retire in their 30s, or plan on retirement in their 30s or 40s, and that causes several problems. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of tips and some other information about retirement planning that I think would be useful for y'all. First off, save. It's really important to start saving as early as possible. The power of compound interest is insane. And for example, let's have a situation here where Leo, he gets a bunch of money, he's racking into those hundreds, except he starts saving when he's 35. He's a little late to the game. He starts saving for 25 years, so he's saving $5,000 every year until the age of 60. But Via, he has a great credit score, and a little birdie told him to start saving when he was 25. So he listened to that advice, and he started saving $5,000 a year when he was 25. He only did that for 10 years, and guess who's richer when they're 60? Yeah, Via actually ends up being $200,000 richer at an 8% interest rate. So that's just a simple example of how compounding interest is so vital. Secondly, have an emergency fund. You never know. Life's really, anything can happen. So always have an emergency fund, have a stash. And what's cool is you can factor in Social Security. Always think about that as well. Government is providing you funding to sustain yourself when you're about 67 years old. So have that in mind when you're planning for retirement. And also open a retirement account. Roth IRA is the best account for people our age. It's tax-free. It can also work as an emergency fund. So you can actually avoid taxes and penalties whenever you have an emergency and you need to pull out money. And next, please invest. We're young right now. This is the time to make risks and take risks, and it's probably the best time to reap benefits. So make sure you make risk investments. I didn't say that, but try. You never know where it might lead you. I know we gave y'all a lot of information, and we have some handouts for y'all. But for right now, I'd like to open up the panel for questions and answers.
Wait, there's a question.
He asked me what's the difference